Assalamu alaikum. Hope so all of you will be fine. In this screencast, you are going to learn about thermal analysis of coal. Thermal analysis is a method used to analyze time and temperature at which physical and chemical changes occur when a substance is heated or cooled. In this method, sample is subjected to a controlled temperature program. Thermal analysis is carried out to observe the thermal behavior of new material and alloy and also about the applications of existing material. For better understanding, let's have a look on the picture. The apparatus shown in the figure consists of two major parts. One is computer unit and other is detection unit. The detection unit contains a furnace on which sample is placed, and by varying the temperature from computer unit, we can detect to which extent physical properties are going to change. Mainly two types of thermal analysis are carried out for coal. One is known as proximate analysis and second one is known as ultimate analysis. Let's discuss about the proximate and ultimate analysis of coal. Proximate analysis. Proximate analysis covers the determination of moisture content, volatile matters, fixed carbon, and ash content in coals and cokes. Proximate analysis is used to establish the rank of coal. Proximate analysis is also useful to find out the heating value of the substance. Ultimate analysis of coal. Ultimate analysis covers the determination of carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, and sulfur in a wide type of organic and inorganic samples. Ultimate analysis is useful for furnace design.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं हूं अली आरिफ और आज मैं मॉइस्चर कंटेंट और वोलेटाइल मैटर के ऊपर बात करने जा रहा हूं। तो आइए मॉइस्चर कंटेंट को देखते हैं। मॉइस्चर कंटेंट कोल के अंदर मौजूद वाटर की परसेंटेज को बताता है। जितना ज़्यादा मॉइस्चर कंटेंट होगा, उस कोल को बर्न करने के लिए एनर्जी की रिक्वायरमेंट ज़्यादा होगी और ये कोस्ट के ऊपर डायरेक्टली अफेक्ट करेगा। सेकेंडली, मॉइस्चर कंटेंट के ज़्यादा होने की वजह से हमारे पास हीटिंग वैल्यू कम आएगी। अब हम देखते हैं वोलेटाइल मैटर को। वोलेटाइल मैटर कोल के अंदर मौजूद ऐसा मैटर होता है जो बर्निंग से पहले ही कोल से रिमूव हो जाता है और ये मेनली हमारे इग्निशन के अंदर इजीनेस प्रोवाइड करता है। जितना ज़्यादा वोलेटाइल मैटर होगा कोल के अंदर, उतना ही ज़्यादा उस कोल को बर्न करना आसान होगा। लेकिन ये कोल की हीटिंग वैल्यू के ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा नेगेटिव अफेक्ट करेगा। वोलेटाइल मैटर के ज़्यादा होने की वजह से हमारी हीटिंग वैल्यू कम होगी, लेकिन जैसे जैसे हम हाई रैंक कोल की तरफ मूव करते हैं तो कार्बन की परसेंटेज ज़्यादा होने की वजह से वोलेटाइल मैटर की परसेंटेज कम हो जाती है, तो हमारे पास हीटिंग वैल्यू उससे ज़्यादा आती है। क्यों? क्योंकि हमारे पास कार्बन कंटेंट ज़्यादा मौजूद है।
Let's learn how to calculate the ash content of the coal. First of all, you have to take coal sample, then heat it up to 500 to 700 degrees temperature, and then the remaining one which we have is ash residue, which is basically the ash content of the coal. Next one is this is the graph analysis of the ash content of the coal. As we can see that coal has 9% of the ash content, which is greater than the other two types of the wood that is mentioned in this slide. Then the next is this is showing that how ash content is causing the air pollution, as we can clearly see that. Next is how we can calculate the fixed carbon. We can calculate fixed carbon by using this formula. This one is showing the composition of the cement coal, that is basically tell us that fixed carbon contain greater than the half of the ratio.
Discuss the determination of carbon and hydrogen. Now let's continue the discussion. There are two U-shaped tubes. First tube contains anhydrous calcium chloride and it is also known as magnesium perchlorate. The second tube contains KOH solution and in it the known weight of powdered coal sample is burnt in the presence of pure oxygen gas in combustion chamber. Generally coal contain carbon and hydrogen, and carbon is converted into carbon dioxide and hydrogen converts into water vapors. From the filter only carbon dioxide and water vapors will be able to pass into the U tube. And then anhydrous calcium chloride has the tendency to absorb water vapors, and clear solution has the tendency to absorb carbon dioxide vapors. So as a result, increase in weight of anhydrous calcium chloride and the KOH is due to absorption of water and carbon dioxide. Now the CaCl2, which we called as anhydrous calcium chloride and KOH in U tubes, is weighted before the absorption of H2O and carbon dioxide. Now, after the absorption of water and carbon dioxide, weight of anhydrous calcium chloride and KOH is increases. From this weight, we calculate the percentage of carbon and hydrogen. Now let's see how it is calculated. Here we can see that all these 4 reactions that take place during that process, and in the blue wording we can see the formula that we used for the calculation of carbon, for the calculation of percentage of carbon and the percentage of hydrogen.
Here is the determination of nitrogen in coal. 1 gram of accurately weighed powdered coal is heated with concentrated sulfuric acid in Kizidal flask. It is treated with excess potassium hydroxide. Liberated ammonia is distilled over and absorbed in a known volume of standard solution of acid. Unused acid is determined by back titration with standard sodium hydroxide. Percentage of nitrogen is equal to volume of acid used multiplied normality multiplied by 1.4 divided by weight of coal sample taken. Now here is the determination of sulfur in coal. Sulfur is converted into sulfate. The washings are treated with barium chloride. Barium sulfate is precipitated. Precipitate is filtered, washed and heated to constant weight. To find out the percentage of sulfur, we use the formula weight of barium sulfate obtained multiplied 32 multiplied by 100 divided by 233 multiplied by weight of coal sample taken.